Now that you know what we're going to build, let's look at the foundation of our framework. In this lesson, we'll create a clean and professional file structure, the same structure used in real automation projects. This will be the backbone of everything we build next, and it's designed to keep your tests organized, scalable, and easy to maintain as your framework grows. Before we create our clean file structure, I want to talk about a very common problem I see in many companies. Most testing frameworks have a messy structure, and it's not because people don't want to do good work. It's usually because the framework was created by someone with little experience in test architecture, or sometimes by a developer who knows coding, but not test automation design. The result is always the same. Tests, locators, keywords, and data are mixed together. Pages are not separated. Locators are duplicated everywhere. Keywords are written randomly. And after a few months, the framework becomes hard to maintain, slow to update, and impossible to scale. This is why many teams struggle, not because robot framework is difficult, but because the foundation of the framework was never built correctly. So in this lesson, we're going to fix that from the start. We will build a clean, simple, and professional file structure that keeps everything organized, scalable, and easy to maintain. This is the foundation of a real page object model framework. Let's begin building our framework. The first thing we need is a main project folder. We'll simply call it Testing Framework. Inside our main Testing Framework folder, the first and most important subfolder we create is the Resources folder. This is where we will store all the reusable parts of our framework, our keywords, our locators, and our variables. Everything that supports our tests will live inside this folder. Inside the Resources folder, we start by creating the PageObject folder. This is where we store all the keywords for UI elements like buttons, inputs, checkboxes, dropdowns, and other small components. These object keywords will be reused across all of our pages, keeping the framework clean and consistent. Next, we create the Pages folder. This is where we store the keywords for each page of the application, like the login page, the home page, or the profile page. Each page gets its own file, and this is where we describe the actions a user can perform on that page. Then we create the Locators folder. This is where we store all the selectors for each page, things like buttons, fields, links, and any element we interact with. By keeping locators in one place, it becomes much easier to update the framework when the UI changes. Next, we add the Variables folder. This is where we keep all the values our tests need, such as URLs, usernames, passwords, test data, and any shared values. Storing variables separately keeps our tests clean and easy to maintain. Next, we create the Config folder. This is where we define how our framework should run. Inside it, we have an environment folder that stores the URLs for dev, staging, or production, and a browser folder that contains the settings for Chrome, Firefox, or any browser we want to use. We also keep a settings.yml file here, which defines our default browser and default environment. With this setup, we can switch environments or browsers just by changing one value, without touching any test code. Now we create the test folder. This is where all our test cases will live. We can organize them into subfolders like smoke tests, regression tests, or feature-based tests. Keeping tests separate from our keywords and locators makes the framework much easier to maintain. Next, we add the output folder. Robot Framework automatically puts all reports, logs, and execution results here. We also create a screenshots folder inside it, so any screenshots taken during the tests are stored in one place. This keeps our project clean and gives us a single location to check results after every run. And finally, we include a readme.md file. This is a simple documentation file that explains how to install the framework, how to run the tests, and how the project is structured. It's very useful when sharing the framework with teammates or when you want to present it in a job interview. And that's our complete folder structure. Now that the foundation is ready, we can start creating our first page objects and building the framework step by step. Feel free to visit atlas-qa.com. Very soon you'll be able to find resources there and download the full testing framework we're building in this course. Thanks for watching with Atlas QA. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer.